What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am The Game. Now, for those of you who may not have seen what happened in the States yesterday, Donald Trump's supporters stormed the Capitol building. Now, it wasn't long earlier in the day that Trump was giving another speech, spewing his lies that the presidential election was rigged, voter fraud, you name it. He's still spewing his bullshit. Okay, but for some reason I don't understand how that when Trump says something, his followers immediately believe it. Because during this time, right, even before, like, months before the election, Trump was saying if he were to lose, the election would be rigged. Because in 2016, after when he beat Hillary Clinton to become the president, he lost the popular vote. So even though he won the presidential election, he was still saying it was rigged against him because he didn't win the popular vote. The man cannot take a loss. For him, if there's anything that's for votes, multiple categories, he has to win every single one. Because if he doesn't, it's rigged, it's fraudulent, it's absolutely pathetic. Even though that right now, with this pandemic, we are 1 year into this thing now, Trump has said absolutely nothing about the pandemic for the last few months. His White House press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, has been trying to answer questions. When I say answer questions, I'm just just bullshitting her way out of it, because she never gives straight answers. When the vaccine was mentioned, she called it the Trump vaccine. Now, whether she decided to call it the Trump vaccine or Trump himself decided to call it the Trump vaccine, why? Because he's Donald Trump, the man who has declared bankruptcy 6 times over the course of his life. He calls himself a self-made billionaire, even though he was given millions of dollars by his father. I knew when Trump was elected, I knew he would be a bad president, but I didn't think he would be dangerous. Now, last night, he turned his supporters, and if any American viewers see this and they get upset, I'm sorry. But it's the thing. Donald Trump turned his supporters into domestic terrorists. Now, what I found out about the Capitol building is that the public are not allowed on the grounds. But they stormed past security. Now, the Capitol Police apparently said they knew ahead of time that there was going to be a march, because Trump said we are going to march to the Capitol building, because he's still trying to get the election overturned. Because the other day, he did a phone call to someone in Georgia to try and get that state overturned in his favor. He's saying voter fraud on Biden's side, when right there he is trying to commit voter fraud himself. But if you bring that up to his supporters, they'll go, nah, no, it's not. That's not. He's a dangerous man. And he needs to be taken out of the White House. Honestly, he needs to be taken out right now. America is truly a frightening country right now. Now, I heard earlier this morning that he has he has said there will be a peaceful transfer of power. I don't believe a word. I don't believe a word he says. Because how can anyone, who actually has a brain, take him at his word? I believe that in less than 2 weeks, when Joe Biden is inaugurated on the 20th of this month, Trump himself or his supporters will try something else. Now, when the authorities, like state police, the National Guard had to get involved. Like throwing flashbangs, and they're using tear gas. Sadly, one woman was shot and she died. And I heard this morning 3 other people also were killed during this time because they stormed into the building. People like congressmen, like the Senate, had to barricade the doors, fearing for their life. And someone who managed to get into the Senate, into the main Senate hall, and sit in the main chair, posing. Are you fucking kidding me? Joe Biden did a speech calling for Trump to call his supporters off. Tell them to go. I was surprised that Trump actually did a video, and I watched it, and I was angry from what I said, from what I heard him say. Basically, it was just, go home. Go home. We love you. You are very special, and we appreciate you. Go home. We love you. That was just about a minute and a half long or something like that. After I was just like, are you fucking kidding me, Trump? That's all you have to say? You're saying, we love you? You're special to us? What the fuck is wrong with you? You have turned your supporters into domestic terrorists. You are responsible for what happened at the Capitol building. You are responsible that 4 people have died. You are responsible for smashed windows and damaged doors. This is all on you. You are an evil, evil fuck. I am so glad that Joe Biden beat you. I tell you what, I'm worried that you are going to try something else. That either you or your supporters are going to try something else. If you are not out of that White House on the 20th of January, I hope the authorities get in there and physically remove you from the building. Because you need to go. Just throwing you out's not enough. You need to suffer legal consequences for what you have done during this time. 4 people have died due to this riot because of you. Over 300,000 people of your people have died due to the pandemic, and you just could not give a flying fuck. You undermine your medical experts every turn. I hope you are happy. I hope you are happy, Mr. President. I believe that you were watching your supporters storm the building and you were smiling. I bet you were loving that. You were loving it, weren't you? Because, I actually half expected for you to arrive at the Capitol building in your presidential helicopter. You get out and you got some security, and then you walk into the building. Not as a president. But someone, I'll say like someone like Saddam Hussein. People will follow you. They'll follow you to the death. And you'll walk around with a smug look on your face. I hope you suffer legal consequences for everything you have done during your time as president. You should never have been in there in the first place. Fuck you, Donald Trump.